Jeannie and Ron Farris remember October 10th all too well.
It was crazy. You could just see this white wall of wind and rain as it just kind of marched through the neighborhood.
Jeannie is a registered nurse at Gulf Coast Medical Center. Her husband is a Bay County building inspector and a Tier 1 responder for the Emergency Operations Center. Both of their jobs kept them in the Panhandle to ride out the storm.
We weren't in a flood zone, and so we weren't too concerned. You know, we had our supplies and our water and everything, and we thought we knew what we were doing. We thought we were prepared. But there's no way you can prepare for what happened to us and to our community.
Jeannie was at home with her 15-year-old daughter when the storm picked up. Meanwhile, Ron was at work.
We heard, you could hear the wind outside, didn't know how strong it was, and I called my wife and was talking to her, and she said, I think the big tree's fixing to, and the phone cut off.
He said that the last thing he remembers hearing me say was, the big tree is coming down. And then we lost our cell service. He didn't know if we were okay. He didn't know if we were alive, if the house was still standing. I didn't know if he was okay. You know, I didn't know where he was. I didn't know when I was going to get to see him again. And that was pretty scary.
As soon as they opened the doors for us to go outside, I took off to try and get to my family. And it took me about 5.5 hours to get to Baldwin Road from the EOC, and we couldn't get any farther. The roads were blocked, so I had to turn around and come back.
He got to us the next morning, and I have never been so happy to see that white truck pull in my driveway.
Seeing the house, driving up to the house, was just an absolute shock. It was, your worst thoughts can, you know, come to mind.
1 year later, and the family is still working to recover.
Michael was supposed to be a 2, maybe a 3. And we woke up that morning and it was a 4 and ended up being a 5. There's no way you can prepare for that except to run. And we had nowhere to run.
A large oak tree came tumbling down on the home, splitting it open and leaving a great deal of damage behind.
Basically split our house kind of down the middle, broke the roof, cracked the block.
I think there's 11 holes in the roof and tweaked the house where you can't open windows. And the house flooded.
We had water pouring in from every vent and light fixture and fan. We had about 4 inches of water in the house.
The ceilings have fallen in, it's full of mold, it's uninhabitable.
We've had no relief from the insurance company, no loss of use, no loss of property, nothing. My house is literally falling apart, one room at a time. Every time it rains, we have another ceiling cave in, or another piece of the roof fall through.
They did give us a whopping $294 though, to offset our cost of living.
Sorry. We're still broken here.
The Farrises have hired an attorney. Meanwhile, they're still living in a rental home provided by a close friend. For News 13, I'm Amber Spradley, Panhandle Strong.